Hello everyone. In this short tutorial we will learn how to create this type of a chair, and as you can see, this is made up of basically a spline and a couple of other objects here. They're basically copies of each other, and I'm going to be going through the steps of creating this. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm just going to grab and hide this, hide selection, and let's start over. So I'll be going and creating a box first. So let's do this in the top view. So I'm going to draw a box, and we can use our snaps here. So I'm going to turn them on with grid points checked. So let's draw this, and the reason I'm creating this box is that it's going to serve as a guide for me to draw the splines for the chair. So I'm going to draw the splines here in the front viewport, and I'll start with by going to the shapes and take a line here. I could snap to the grid points here. I'm just going to freehand draw this, but I'll be holding the shift key to create a straight line. Now in this case my enable in render is on, so I'm just going to turn it off for a second before I do this. So I'll click there, and as you can see, if I hold the shift key I get a straight line. So I'm going to click once and here, and one more time here, and finally I'm going to end it there and right click to finish. And if I come back to my perspective and delete the box here, you'd see I get a nice looking spline. So I've turned off the bounding box. You can turn it on by pressing the J key. I'm going to turn it back off. What I want to do now is create a copy of this spline. So I'm going to hold the shift key and drag, and I'll just make a copy of that. Now I would want these two to be part of the same spline. So right now they are different, they're individual splines. I'm going to grab one of these, go to the modify panel, and let's go and attach the other spline, and now they are part of the same spline here. The next step is to connect these so that we can have a complete shape. So the way I'm going to do this, there are a few ways of doing this. I could draw a new line and try and connect it together. A better way would be to use an option here under vertices. I could go and connect. Now the problem with the connecting with the new line would be I would get two vertices and I would have to weld them later. But with the connect tool, all I need to do is select it, click and drag it to the other vertex, and I will end up with a single vertice. So if I go and select the vertex again and grab one of these vertices, you can see it's telling me the spline name and the vertex, so vertex number here. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. Again, go to the vertex level and basically just go take the connect tool, click and drag to the other vertice, and that's it. I'm done there. Now all of these are not smooth right now. They're all really they're basically linear. So I'm going to turn off connect, grab all of the points, and use my fillet to just click and drag and fillet all of this out like so. And if I go back and turn on enable in renderer and in the viewport, you will notice I've got a nice looking frame going on here. So if I render, you can see my frame, and let's go and create the seat part. Now this is easy. I'll just go create let's just create a simple plane here. So let's grab a plane and draw this out, and I'm just going to pull it up and back and make it a little smaller. Oops, let's do the width here. Okay, now I had a little bit of a bend on this, so if you want to do the same thing, before I do that, let's add a little bit of resolution on this. So I just turned on the edge faces with F4 and Alt Q to isolate this, and let's convert it to editable poly here, and I'm just going to add a couple of edges here so that I can smooth this off with the turbo smooth later, and it's going to hold the shape. So let's add that and do the same thing in the back here as well as the front of this. Let's ring that selection and connect this. Right click and drag just like this. There we go. And I'm going to exit out of the isolation mode and add a, I could basically grab those vertices and move them down, but I'm going to do this with a FFD here. So I'll throw in a FFD 4x4x4, grab the control vertices and just pull these down just a hair. Okay, then if you wanted to add some thickness in there, I would throw in a shell modifier there, and this is all really procedural, so I can always go back and change things. And finally add a turbo smooth on top of everything with another resolution, and you can say I got that. So now I need to make a copy of this, and if you want to pull those up a little bit, you can always go down to the freeform deformation modifier and pull those control points up. I'm just going to go and take this, get into the rotate mode and go here and turn on my angle snap, and I'm just going to hold shift and drag, and I'll snap up to 90 degrees here and make a copy here. I'm just going to go into one of the ortho views and kind of just position this roughly. Let's go back, pull this up, pull this back, rotate these. Let's turn on angle snap, turn off angle snap, and move this back into position, and pull it back, and there we go. We have a nice looking chair. I can further go on